1,000 yesterdays, and I love the magic ways of St. Louis.
Fellas, we worked hard to get here. Let's do it.
Working hard at what you do, the spirit shows in you each time you touch the sky.
And what a sky.
From where the river flows to where the sunset goes, we're all good neighbors, hand in hand.
Hi, Jim.
How's she doing?
Great.
Makes no difference where I go. You're the best hometown I know. Hello, St. Louis. Hello, St. Louis. You're my hometown, too.
Don't you hate listening to hard rock when you really want to hear classic rock? 93.7 KSD gives you 40 minutes of back-to-back classic rock every hour. For great classic rock without the hard rock, listen to 93.7 KSD. Now with 40 minutes commercial-free every hour.
At Containers and
Thanks.
Okay. You can now pay your money and take your chances on 2 Illinois rivers.
That's because the Pair a Dice becomes the state's second gaming ship. It cruised out of Peoria for the first time this afternoon, and now you can lay down your dollars and your dice on the Illinois as well as the Mississippi. Sounds like Monopoly.
A little bit, if you prefer your landlocked
A stretch of 4 straight games at home, this is the way to get it started. The Blues hung out the home sweet home sign tonight. Then they basically kicked their guests right out the door. Let's go to the arena. Blues and Leafs tonight. Blues fell behind, but then Lee Norwood to Jeff Brown in the slot. The shot and a goal. Game tied at 1. Later, watch this pretty pass. Adam Oates gets it to Brett Hull. Hull is there. He shoots and he scores. Blues lead it 2-1. Then in the second, Leafs break in 2-0. Claude Loisel robbed by Curtis Joseph. Later, the Leafs overskate the puck. Brett Hull and Gino Cavallini break in. Hull the pass. Cavallini the shot and a goal. For Cavallini, the 100th goal of his NHL career. Then, third period, Adam Oates just flicks it to Hull for the goal. The Blues take the lead 5-1, and they win it. Final tonight from the arena was 5-2. Next up for the Blues will be the Rangers at the arena Saturday night.
There's no name for the meal you eat at 2 in the morning, but we serve it anyway.
This is what our original steak burger looked like in 1934. Who says they don't make them like they used to? Why do we call them steak burgers? Because we can.
Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers.
One man back. Hall. Around again. A shot. It's the Blues and Red Wings tonight at 7:30 on St. Louis 11. Blues hockey is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By your Midwest GMC truck dealers, Bellman, Bomarito, and Brockman GMC. By Southwest Airlines, providing everyday low, unrestricted fares to many exciting destinations. By McDonald's, your place for the 59-cent hamburger. By Phillips 66, makers of high-quality, super clean, unleaded gasoline. By your local bottler of Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the Blues. By your Metro St. Louis Lincoln Mercury dealers. By AutoZone, the best part in auto parts. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Hardy. By the Missouri Lottery, you can't win if you don't play. By the Southwestern Bell Corporation, the one to call on. By your Greater St. Louis Nissan dealers. And by Domino's. Call now for hot, fresh Domino's pizza. Now, St. Louis Blues hockey.
A chilly Saturday night, but warm inside the arena. And it is capacity, as is usually the case here. Tonight, the Red Wings visit St. Louis for the first time this season to take on the St. Louis Blues. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the arena with Bruce Affleck and John Kelly. I'm Ken Wilson. The crowd is pumped up tonight. The Blues have already lost 3 times to Detroit, but not here yet. And they're coming off of a victory, a big win over Quebec the other night.
Yeah, the Blues have played very well at home, Ken. They won 4 of their last 5 games. games, and the only loss was against the Rangers a week ago tonight, and they played very well in that game and losing 3-0. So they have played well on home ice, and hopefully it can continue tonight.
Folks, it won't be easy. The Detroit Red Wings are in first place in the Norris Division. They are literally the red-hot Red Wings.
A 6-point lead on the Blues, 8-0-2 in the last 10 games, and in those 10 games, they outscored the opposition 49-31. So they are scoring a lot of goals, and they've scored a lot against the Blues this year in 3 games.
A number of big players for the Red Wings, including a Soviet centerman, Sergei Fedorov, Rookie of the Year. A year ago, 7 goals, 19 assists so far this season. Also, John, for Detroit, a very young, impressive rookie defenseman.
Nicholas Lidstrom, he leads the league in scoring among all rookies, has 9 points against the Blues. And the thing that Brian Murray says about him, he's very calm, cool, and collected for a 21-year-old. He has really fit in nicely on Detroit's team.
Last season, the Norris Division dominated by St. Louis and Chicago. This year, it's Detroit, or at least in the early going. Bruce Affleck, are these Red Wings really for real?
I don't think there's any question, Ken. The Detroit Red Wings are for real. All you have to do is look down the middle at Fedorov, Yzerman, Carson. They are a talented hockey club. You look at the additions on defense, they are a good hockey team. The key for the Blues may be team defense. They have been hurt by that in the previous games against Detroit. They need team defense tonight.
All right, Bruce, we'll watch that. We're just about set to go. It's St. Louis Blues hockey. The two teams are on the ice for the start of this one here at the arena, the Blues and the Red Wings. In goal, as always, for Detroit, Tim Cheveldae. He's played in every Wings game and has been outstanding. A .322 goals against average. At the other end, Curtis Joseph. What a year he's having. And the referee, Paul Stewart, drops the puck, and here's John Kelly.
Thank you, Ken. Here we go, the Blues and Red Wings. First time these two clubs get together in St. Louis. Off the draw, the Blues center. Emerson, a shot. And he put it wide after Ron Sutter fed him. Now a Racine for Detroit. Can't clear it. Barron kept it in. Here's Emerson getting pulled down by Fedorov. Puck cleared around the boards. Knocked down by Ron Sutter. Puts it in front again, off a leg. Hall is after it. He can't get to it. And the Red Wings clear it away. Now Zombo at his own line. Fires it back down the ice. Chase on going back for Detroit. And icing called on the Blues.
We mentioned young Curtis Joseph in goal tonight for the Blues. Vincent Riendo traded earlier in the year to Detroit. And it's a 2.67 goals against average for Joseph. Pat Jablonski the backup, but he has truly become a backup. Joseph carrying the load in goal for Brian Sutter's Blues. As John Kelly mentioned at the outset of the evening, Brian Sutter's club playing better lately, especially here at home, and they come into tonight's game off a win, winning 2 out of the last 3 and 4 of the last 6 games. One thing you have to worry about with Detroit, their centerman, and that starts with their captain, Steve Yzerman. They are very deep with Yzerman, Fedorov, Jimmy Carson. They are a very, very tough team up the middle. They'll emphasize speed and the transition game, among other things.
Face off right of Joseph. Blues control the draw. And Paul Cavallini sends it down the ice. And Lidstrom going back for Detroit. And Ken, once again tonight, the Red Wings are dressing 7 defensemen, including Nicholas Lidstrom.
They've been doing that during this undefeated stretch of 10 games under Brian Murray. He, of course, not only is the head coach, but also the general manager. You remember he was with the Washington Capitals for some time. They have some players who have matured, the Yzermans and the Gallants. They brought in speed from Europe and the Soviet Union. They are a very disciplined team that seems to be maturing and having some fun. 8-0-2 in their last 10.
No score. We haven't played a minute in this first period. Blues get the draw in their own end. Basson clears it. He's out between Rich Sutter and Lowry against this Yzerman line. Gallant sends it back in. And Lowry in his own zone. Right wing for Sutter, kept in by Gallant. A shot right on, a save by Joseph. On that hard drive by Gerard Gallant. And now Probert has words with Paul Cavallini. And his old buddy Butcher comes in.
And Bob Probert's always going to be a story when you watch the Red Wings. We mentioned Gerard Gallant moments ago, coming off of an injury-riddled season and reunited here in the 91-92 campaign on the wing with Yzerman and Probert. You remember a few seasons ago, this was an outstanding line for Detroit, and Probert was the enforcer, but with Yzerman, scored some goals. He can be an outstanding player. John was mentioning 7 defensemen, 11 forwards for Detroit. That's a bit unusual, but that's the way they've been playing it during this undefeated stretch. And I guess if you were Brian Murray, you wouldn't want to change things either. Remember, this great stretch for Detroit began with their 10-3 victory at Joe Louis Arena over the Blues.
No score. 1:10 gone, first period. Blues can't clear it. McCrimmon right point. Now for Probert. Can't walk in front. And Christian feeds Kelly Chase. He'll dump it in deep. Cheveldae will play it to the corner. Probert is there, bumped by Besson, and it's kept in by Paul Cavallini. Now Christian to Chase, a shot, and he put it just wide. Oh, a great chance for Kelly Chase. Now Chase and McCrimmon behind the play. They get their sticks up, and it doesn't look like McCrimmon wants to drop them. Chase gave him a shot, and they both could go.
And away from that minimal action, Butcher went right after Probert to make sure that Bob Probert knew he was in the vicinity. Oh, there's a timeout. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Kelly Chase gets a high sticking penalty at 1:37. Of course, he's anything but a scorer, but he had a good chance moments ago. Christian, loose puck behind the net, centers it. Chase lets a low shot go, and he was just wide of the post. Chase getting into it with Brad McCrimmon in front of goaltender Tim Cheveldae, but could not entice Cheveldae to get involved. Only the one penalty. The Wings have struggled on the power play again this season. They are 15th overall in the league. Last season, you recall, they were 19th. The Blues penalty killing 15th in the league. So neither team, in summary, is very strong on their special teams.
Although Detroit has been strong against the Blues, Ken, 8 of 18 against the Blues. That's close to 50% in the 3 games. No score. The Red Wings with the man advantage. Chase on across the line. Gets it into the far corner. Shepard is there. Back on the right point for Lidstrom. Across to Chase on. He'll let it go, and that drifts wide. Now far corner. Yzerman gets it. To Shepard. Back on the right point for Nicholas Lidstrom, the rookie. Into the corner for Shepard. To Yzerman. Carson is in front. Now near corner. Shepard on the point to Chase on a shot. Big rebound. Off the goal post. Yzerman hit the goal post. And now it goes right to Joseph. And he holds on. Do you believe that? Yzerman had Joseph down and rang it off the left goal post.
What a chance for Yzerman. He was bidding for his 16th goal of the season. He had a rebound that you dream about. Maybe he had too much time. He had Joseph down. Joseph trying to spring up. Yzerman had all the time in the world trying to go upstairs on the glove side and ringed it off the iron. Interesting thing about Paul Yzerman. How did the Red Wings get him? You might recall they picked him up from New Jersey in a trade for Lee Norwood. And, of course, Norwood playing now with the Blues.
And he just missed a great chance there. Still scoreless. 1:10 to go in the Red Wing power play. Off the draw, Yzerman sets up on left wing. In the corner for Fedorov. Probert in front. Pass in front, tipped away. Now Steve Yzerman near corner. Back to Konstantinov across the Chase on a shot. And a stick save by Joseph. Butcher trying to clear it. He can't. But Rick Sutter does. And he sends it down the ice. We've played close to 3 minutes in the first period. No score. Detroit on a power play. Konstantinov to Chase on. He gets to center. Into the blue zone. Now Yzerman on the point. Had it knocked away. And here's Rich Sutter. But he lost the puck at center ice. Chase on for the Red Wings. Rink wide. Tipped away by Oates. Here's Paul Cavallini ahead for Oates. Too far. And Sergei Fedorov for Detroit. He can really fly. He has some room at center. Into the zone. Ron Sutter back there. Gets the puck on the boards. Not out. Back on the point. A backhander blocked by Butcher. And here's Ron Sutter now clearing the puck down the ice. And Kelly Chase is now back on the ice. So the Blues have killed it off. Still no score. Now Carson to center ice for Detroit. Into the blue zone. Pass in front. And Shepard had it knocked away by Brett Hull. And the Blues clear to center ice. Brad McCrimmon there for Detroit. He'll lift it in deep. Brown in behind his net. Stolen by Miller, centered, but Oates is there to clear it away. Now Oates to center ice. In traffic, lost it. And it's shot in. The Red Wings after it. Carson, drop pass, right in front. And Shepard lost it. Now he gets it back, centers it. And Joseph got a skate on that. Back on the point, Lidstrom there for Detroit. To Carson. Back for Lidstrom. Pass in the corner for Ray Shepard. Left the puck for Miller. Here's Miller. Walking in front, tripped up, and Brett Hull will go off. A tripping call against the Blues. No score. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
A rare Brett Hull tripping penalty. He trips Kevin Miller, who was trying to move out into the slot area. Hull kind of lost his balance. That kind of led him into the trip. So the Blues are shorthanded. Earlier, a very good Detroit chance. Ray Shepard had a terrific opportunity, a second effort, and hit the side of the net. The Blues penalty killing, successful 80% of the time, 15th in the league. Detroit on the power play, 17% success.
No score. Red Wings get the puck behind the Blues goal. Fedorov let it go for Yzerman near corner. Yzerman back on the point. Racine, a shot, and a pad saved by Joseph. And Lowry clears it off an arm to center ice. Now Racine for Fedorov. Ahead for Yzerman. Pass across the line, but Butcher there to clear it back down the ice. And Yves Racine, a former first-round draft choice of the Red Wings, back in his own end. To Fedorov at center ice. He works into the blue zone. Fedorov right wing side for Racine. Behind the goal to Yzerman. The Red Wing captain leaves it for Probert. He's bumped by Butcher. Now far side. Racine has it. Behind the goal to Probert. Now it's picked up by Fedorov. Probert trying to jam it in front, knocked away. Here's Fedorov getting the puck. Back to Racine. Into the near corner, for Yzerman. 55 seconds left in the power play. Yzerman leaves it for Fedorov, far side. Centers to chase on. Puts it back in front, no one there. Now Fedorov on right wing. To Racine. A shot, and that's tipped wide by Probert. And the Blues get the puck in Bassett. Rifles it off the boards down the ice. Now 30 seconds left in the Red Wing power play. No score in the first period. 6 minutes gone. Back in is Carson for Detroit. Drop pass. Here's Fedorov with it on left wing. To the near corner. Now on the boards for Ray Shepard. Shepard to Carson. Left point Lidstrom. A shot. And that sailed wide. Joseph never saw it. And now Rick Zombo, the ex-Red Wing, gets it. He can't clear it. Carson stole it. Now a pass. And a shot by Konstantinov wide. Left point Lidstrom. Pass in the corner. Brett Hull back on. And the Blues now have a pass to center. Hull's got a breakaway. In alone, a shot. And Chevelday is saved on a Brett Hull breakaway chance as he went to his knees. Back come the Red Wings. Carson across the line. He gets it behind the goal. And the Blues take over there. Oh, Hull missed on the breakaway. Now to center Ron Sutter. Into the Red Wing zone. Bouncing shot on net. And Chevelday hangs on. Still scoreless here in St. Louis. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Detroit power plays and good puck control and pressure by the Wings on each. But right at the end of the second Detroit power play, out of the penalty box, Brett Hull. And the second leading goal scorer in the league, a breakaway, moves in, tries to go, it looked like between the pads of Chevelday, but he's able to close the pads, go down, and make the save. So a very good chance for the Blues, who, because they've been shorthanded twice, have been outshot here early, 7-2 by Detroit.
No score. Face-off left of Chevelday. Oates on the draw. Now centers it, but Yzerman blocked it. And the Red Wing captain to center ice. Now for Alan Kerr, the ex-Islander. He was taken out by Brown, and Norwood cuts behind his goal. Up on left wing, here is Oates. Into the Red Wing zone. Oates in traffic, lost it. Yzerman clears the puck to Kerr. Now for Brent Fedek at center. Fedek into the blue zone, but Norwood stopped him. And Brown, a right wing feed to Shanahan. To Oates, but Marsh read that. Now Gino Cavallini knocked down Kerr. Here's Oates after it, gets it to Shanahan in the far corner. He was bumped by Konstantinov. And Marsh in his own end. Up on left wing for Fedek. That's center ice. Yzerman a long shot. And that's stopped by Joseph with his blocker. No score. 12 minutes left first period. Blues get to center. Big Gino Cavallini dumps it in. Ron Sutter after it. Takes out Racine. Hall a shot. And that went just wide. Now Hall trying to keep it in. He does with a great play. Hall winds up. And that goes wide. Puck behind the Red Wing goal. Emerson there with Ron Sutter. Emerson trying to walk in front. Can't get a shot. Penalty coming up on Detroit. A holding call as Emerson was taken down. No score. And the Blues will get a power play. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Enoff picks up a 2-minute holding penalty at 8:32 as Nelson Emerson tries to come in front of the net, loses the puck, tries to get around Konstantinov, who grabs his stick and holds it long enough for Paul Stewart to call the penalty. The Blues have the power play. First opportunity on the power play for Brian Sutter's club. No score in the first period. The Blues on the power play, about 16% success, 18th in the league. Detroit, 79% successful killing penalties, 18th in the league.
Blues get the face-off. Norwood left point to Hall. Back for Norwood. Right wing side to Oates. Near corner to Mongeau. Back out top for Oates. Now to Norwood. A shot. That goes wide. Mongeau to Hall. In front. And he lost it. Oates kept it in. His pass to Shanahan. He can't get to it, and Lidstrom will backhand it high in the air to center ice. Norwood at his own line for the Blues. His pass. Sean Byrne knocked it down. Centers it, but Oates was right there to break it up. And back come the Blues. Hall at center. He fell down. Now Norwood carries on for St. Louis. In across the line to Mongeau. In behind the goal to Norwood. Right point Oates. A shot tipped by Norwood. And right to Chevelday. I think that pass or shot by Oates was really a pass, Ken, and it didn't have a lot on it.
Oates, as everyone knows, likes to pass. Mongeau, of course, with Hall on the power play, giving the Blues some speed, some puck control. And the Blues this season again trying to get that power play clicking all of the time. Early chance, shot went wide. And it was centered to Hall, and Fedek just simply had Hall too well covered to let Brett get a shot away. But the Blues here with still 1:11 to go with the man advantage. The Blues tonight not dressing Ron Wilson and Darren Kimball against the Red Wings.
Hall always a big threat on the power play, but has only 5 power play goals this year. No score. 10:39 left first period. 1:11 left in the Blues power play. A false face-off, and now Emerson and Chason get wrapped up. Emerson up front with Oates and Christian. Or actually Hall, and Oates will be back on defense with Brown after the face-off.
Comparison this year and last year, the Blues were 7th in the league last season, but way down this year.
Off the draw, Hall alone, a shot. He scores! Brett Hall right off the face-off. It's 1-0.
Goal number 20 for Brett Hall. Not that many generations ago, 20 was the high mark in this league. Right from the face-off, he moves in front. Power play goal, number 6 for Brett. How important are face-offs? Oh, there are a lot of them, aren't there? Oates with his left skate kicks the puck back. Hall sachets in and beats Chevelday on the glove side, his 20th to give the Blues a 1-0 lead here at 9:25 of the first period.
Oates gets the assist. A power play goal at 9:25, and now the Blues work in offside. Well, Hall misfired on a breakaway moments ago, Ken, and he won't miss many like that as he was all alone in front on that second chance.
Well, he's gotten hot again, but it's very rare that you would ever say that Hall is in a slump, and a Brett Hall slump is a hot streak for most players. That's how strong he is. Not dressed for Detroit. Bobby Dallas, Johan Garpenloff, Martin Lapointe will be back soon. Veteran Brian McClellan and veteran defenseman Doug Crossman. They're all sitting out tonight.
And Troy Crowder's been hurt since very early in the year with a back problem. Their big tough guy acquired from New Jersey. Blues lead 1-0. Now 10-12 left first period. Here's Yzerman in his own zone. A pass to Chason. He whips it around the boards for Gallant. Pass at center. Butcher blocked it. And Butcher flips it back in high. Penalty called here on Detroit. An interference call. And the Blues will go right back on the power play. I think Chason will go off. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
On playing in only his 8th game of the season, just inside the Detroit blue line, he interferes with Rich Sutter, hooks him down. Again, that goal, a power play goal, 9:25, Oates assisting, number 20 for Brett Hull.
And the Blues have scored the first goal in the last 2 games. Off the draw again, a shot by Mongeau. That's high off the glass. The Blues nearly got another goal right off a face-off. And prior to scoring first the other night against Quebec, the Blues had gone 10 games without scoring the first goal. So a nice turnaround in the last 2 games. Blues leading 1-0, get to center, but McCrimmon breaks it up. And here's Oates at his own line. Sean Burr on him. Now Fedek carries in. He gets the puck in deep, but Oates takes over there for St. Louis. He sets up behind his goal. Oates now had it tipped away by Fedek, but now he feeds Mongeau into the Red Wing zone on left wing. Left it there for Shanahan. Here's Shanahan back on the point for Norwood. Right wing for Oates. Near corner to Mongeau, back to Oates. Oates right point, a pass, tipped away. Oates gets it again. Right wing to Mongeau. Now for Oates, into Hull, to Shanahan, and he wasn't ready for the pass. He had a wide open net. Mongeau back to Oates, across for Norwood. A shot, he scores! Norwood, and it's 2-0 for St. Louis.
Interesting thing about the Blues scoring from the point, Detroit in the box really letting the 2 forwards come out near the points. It looked like the Blues were going to get an opportunity inside rather than out by the blue line. But Norwood winds her up even with a lot of pressure, and the low shot beats Cheveldae. And one of the reasons the veteran Lee Norwood is getting a second chance with the Blues is because of the work he can do on the power play. His second goal since coming back to the Blues from Hartford not long ago. Now they're going to say that Shanahan, and it looked like he might have, tipped that puck in front of the net. Brendan Shanahan was right there, and they're announcing the goal to Brendan Shanahan to make it 2-0.
And Shanahan was dangerously close to being in the goal crease. But he gets the goal. It's 2-0. 2 power play goals. Now off the draw, Brown back in his own zone. Lost it. Norwood took a high stick from Miller, but play goes on. Here's Norwood behind his goal. For Brown, up the boards. Christian there. And it's tipped away by Ron Sutter. Sutter trying to work it in. He can't. And Marsh feeds it ahead. Christian for the Blues. Now to Nelson Emerson. He cuts back near his own line. Leaves it for Brown. Right wing feed to Christian over his stick. Here's Marsh, bumped by Christian, but Marsh gets it for Kevin Miller. His pass knocked down by Emerson. A shot, and a save by Cheveldae. Oates tries to center it. That's blocked. And the puck on the line. Murray Barron trying to keep it in. He did, but now Miller for Detroit. To Marsh, the 14-year veteran. His long dump in. Bounces wide of the Blues goal. Here's Zombo on right wing for the Blues. Pass to center. Now Rick Sutter ahead for Barron. He gets into the Red Wing zone in deep. Barron has room. left it there. Rich Sutter tried to center one. That's blocked. Now Racine held up behind the goal. Blues can't get the puck. And Fedorov feeds Burr. Back to Fedorov at center ice. He shoots it in behind the Blues goal. And Joseph leaves it for Zombo. Blues get the puck on right wing. Basson near the line, lost it. It's centered, tipped away, Basson again. Now for Rich Sutter. 7 minutes left, first period. Blues lead the Red Wings 2-0. Now Lowry bumps Racine behind the Red Wing goal. But they work it to Fedorov on left wing, kept in by Paul Cavallini. A shot! That's blocked in front by Chason, and Fedorov, an outlet pass to Burr. Now for Isabard, into Fedorov. A shot, right on, a save by Joseph with his body. And back comes Butcher. Here's Butcher dumping one in. Chevalier will tip it away, and Isabard on right wing. Good pass for Burr. Burr at center ice to McCrimmon. He gets it behind the Blues goal. Joseph clears it up the boards, kept in, now it's centered, but nobody there. And the Blues take over. Non-stop action here. Paul Cavallini back to center. Into Shanahan for Oates. A shot, and that goes wide. Brown right point kept it in. Near corner for Gino Cavallini. Now to Oates behind the goal. Back to Gino. That's tipped away. In front, Shanahan can't get to it. And now it's over Brown's stick on the point. And it comes to center. Brown shoots it right back in. And the fans love it here in St. Louis. Blues lead 2-0. 5:45 left first period. Lidstrom a pass. That goes down the ice. No icing here as Joseph whips it off the glass and back into the Red Wings zone. And Konstantinov, the rookie, in his own end. Out for Big Bob Probert. Long pass tipped into the Blues end by Gallant. Joseph now a pass on right wing for Hull. His feed to Emerson at center ice. Into Brown on right wing too far. Cleared by Chevalier up the boards. And Gallant gets it back to center. Played right back in by Norwood. Here's Gallant on left wing. Hull on him. Hull knocked down. Ron Sutter centers it. No one there. Emerson a shot. That's blocked in front. And now Gallant to center ice for Detroit with Yzerman. Into Yzerman on left wing. He gets it behind the goal. Blocks in front. A shot. Joseph a save on Yzerman. And he holds on. What a glove save there. And the Blues lead 2-0. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
On Steve Yzerman, who came from the corner. He's a two-time 60-goal scorer, bidding for his 11th, sliding the puck along the ice, and Joseph reaching out with his trapper. Boy, Yzerman with a burst of speed comes in front, holds the puck seemingly forever, and somehow Joseph able to stay with him and just reach out to make the save at the last moment.
Blues lead 2-0. Power play goals from Hall and Shanahan. Now the Blues can't clear it. A shot by Racine left point. That's stopped by Joseph. Butcher gets it ahead. Kept in by Chason. In behind the net. Paul Cavallini is there. Now for Michel Mongeau at center ice to Butcher. He gets it near the Red Wing line. Christian after it. Now picked up by Mongeau. Cuts in. A shot. Pass. A rebound. And Christian was stopped by Chevalier. Here's Mongeau in the corner. Trying to center one. He's knocked down. Racine trying to clear it. Bumped by Chase. And Kevin Miller gets that center ice. Paul Cavallini fell down but stopped it. And Mongeau flips it back in. Dennis Vial back in his own zone. Clears it, not out. Kept in by Cavallini. Now Chase centers it. Tipped away by Chason. And Alan Kerr gets it. Now a fight. Vial and Kelly Chase. And Chase lands it right. Vial very tough. He gets chased down. Lands one left, and that's it. And the linesmen jump in. Well, Chase got one right in, and Vial got a left in after Chase had fallen down.
Boy, a couple of tough customers there, and they each got one good shot, and there'll be penalties to Chase and Vial. The Blues are playing extremely well. They lead it 2-0. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
How to live like a mountain man. A true mountain man lives a solitary life. living for nothing more than an honest day's work and the rugged companionship of his fellow mountain men. It's a full-time job, but it does have its rewards, like smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains. Because once a mountain man has his mountains, what more could he possibly want?
Budweiser, out-of-town scoreboard. First period, Hartford leading Montreal 2-0. In the second, the Islanders 3-0 lead over the Capitals. Pittsburgh at home in period 2 leading Philadelphia. Buffalo a 1-0 lead early at Quebec. San Jose has a goal early at Calgary after a tie in Edmonton last night. Toronto at home in the first, 2-1 over Minnesota. The Devils will be at Los Angeles later on. So penalties here, coincidental penalties to Chase and Vial. Both teams remain at full strength with 3:46 to go. Interestingly and not surprisingly, Adam Oates has assisted on both Blues goals. Oates now 27 assists in 25 games.
And he's tied for the league lead in that department with Paul Coffey. Blues get the puck, right point. Brown a shot, save. Hall the rebound, and Lidstrom blocked that. And it's cleared away. Now picked up by Hall. Out there with Oates and Shanahan. It's dumped in behind the Red Wing goal. McCrimmon clears one for Isabart. He gave it right to Jeff Brown. Brown for Shanahan. Tips it near the Red Wing line. Now the Wings work it back down the ice. Joseph will play it around the boards on the far side. Shanahan now for Bassett. He can't clear it. Burr, a shot! And a stick save by Joseph. And Bassett a right wing feed to Hull. That's center ice to Brown. He'll just dump it in. Blues making changes here. Bassett a hit on Burr. And now the Red Wings shoot the puck back to center. 2:45 left first period. Blues ahead 2-0. Bassett shoots it in. Chevrolet will play it. On right wing to Paul Isabart. That's center for Fedorov. Good pass to Miller on right wing. Into the blue zone. Now Miller trying to work it back in front. Carson gets it. He shoots it behind the goal. Miller lost it though, and the Blues pick it up. And Rich Sutter a pass to Bassett at center ice. He'll dump it in. Konstantinov behind his goal. Gave it away to Ron Sutter. Sutter out of the corner. A shot. That's blocked in front. And then Bassett knocked down. And back to center is Shepard for Detroit. 3 Blues are back. Konstantinov a shot. And a blocker save by Joseph. And the puck cleared to the far corner. Gallant takes a check. Ron Sutter there for the Blues. So is Paul Cavallini. Oates in to help out. Now a quick shot. Oh, what a save by Joseph. On a shot out of midair by Shepard. And Joseph made a great save with his right pad.
Ray Shepard after the game will say something about, well, I played fast pitch up in Canada. This ball gets in the air and you don't think that there's a little hand-eye coordination? What a shot and what a save. Everyone watching, Shepard just times it about knee-high. Great direction, and Joseph, a brilliant save. St. Louis Blues hockey is brought to you by Midas. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, nobody beats Midas. Nobody. Down to 1:41 to go in this first period.
2-0 for the Blues. Red Wings, right point chase on a shot wide. Here's Yzerman getting the puck far corner. Now centers it. Picked up by Gallant. A shot. And Oates blocked that. Here he comes 3-on-2. Oates into the zone. Drop pass for Ron Sutter. His shot. That's blocked in front. And Probert on left wing for Detroit. Now to Gallant. Steps across the line. Fires it behind the goal. Yzerman in front, a backhander, and he put it just wide. And then Butcher knocked down a Red Wing player, and then Probert bumps him. And that should nullify the Red Wing power play. Not a very smart play by Bob Probert.
Probert takes a run at Butcher after play had been stopped. Butcher and Probert having words now. There was, of course, going to be the penalty against Detroit, and as John points out, a very, very poor choice of effort by Probert. Boy, oh boy. Well, let's pause here. 20 seconds for station identification. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Butcher will get 2 for tripping. Probert will get 2 for boarding Probert. After the fact, Butcher is boarded by Probert. Butcher had picked up earlier a 2-minute tripping penalty, so coincidental minors here with 1:06 to go in this opening period. Ryan Murray's done quite a job with this team. Interestingly enough, they had a huge brawl with Boston at the end of a game. They have not lost since the last 10 games. And a lot of times a big fight like that will help bring a team together and mature them.
Although the Red Wings haven't played since Monday, and Brian Murray was concerned about that long layoff. And he was concerned about this first period for good reason. Blues leading 2-0. Yzerman can't work around Norwood. Now a fight, Gallant, and Bassett. Gerard Gallant gets Bassett down. More of a wrestling match than anything else. And the linesman will have a heck of a time getting these two apart.
Yes, scraps are a part of hockey as it's known in the NHL. Gallant will go to the Wings dressing room. Basson, who is at the bottom, will go to the Blues dressing room. And there'll be further penalties here at 19-14 of the first period. The Blues, in a very crisply played period, have been really on top of their game, getting the 2 goals, both power play goals. The initial goal at 9:25, Hall is 20th from Oates, then at 11:14, Shanahan his 11th from Norwood and Oates. But a very good period for the Blues, even though they've been outshot 13-9 by Detroit. Remember, early Detroit, with a couple of quick unsuccessful power plays, had outshot the Blues 7-2. So the Blues have really come back, getting the 2 power play goals, and Brian Sutter has to be very happy with the way this first period has moved along. And obviously the Blues want to get a victory anytime. They want to get a win over the Norris Division leaders, but they, of course, are aware, looking ahead, that 6 of their next 7 games are going to be on the road. 6 of the next 7 are going to be on the road, starting next Tuesday at Minnesota. So all the more incentive to end this stretch of games here at home with a victory.
Well, Bassett and Gallant get 7 minutes in penalties. But no power plays will result. Blues lead 2-0. Under a minute to go in the period. Now the Red Wings center it. Oh, Yzerman alone in front, a shot, and he put it just off Joseph's arm, or wide, I'm not sure which. And that's the 3rd great chance Yzerman's had in this first period.
What a save earlier by Joseph on Yzerman, and Yzerman somehow gets a lot of opportunities, doesn't he? He had trouble setting the puck down. That really hurt him, and the shot just barely flip-flops over the crossbar. Day in and day out, at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It delivers every time. So ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just alike.
Now 34 seconds left in the first period. Face off to the right of Joseph. Blues work at the center. Here's Brett Hull with Christian. 2-on-1. Hull to Christian, right in a shot. Score! Dave Christian! And it's 3-0 St. Louis.
Goal number 9 for Dave Christian. Only Shanahan and Hull have more goals. And what a pass. On the backhand effort, Christian just directs it by Chevelday. Brett Hull with a very fine pass. And Christian able to put it home. Christian got it a little close to his skates, able to put it in. And the goal at 19:36, his 9th of the season, makes it 3-0 Blues.
Colin Oates assist at 19:36. It's 3-0 St. Louis. So much for those bad first periods. Now off the draw, the Red Wings. Konstantinov. He'll dump it in. Here's Zombo behind his goal. Pass on the boards, kept in. Konstantinov shot wide. Now Burr bumps Zombo. Puck comes in front, but Barron poked it away. And Emerson gets it to center. 5 seconds left. Red Wings back in. Fedorov, but play called, and now back at center. A few players involved. Emerson for the Blues. But he's pulled apart. What a first period. The Blues lead 3-0. Listen to the crowd. Coming up, Bruce Affleck will talk to Lee Norwood. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
For both teams, Lee Norwood.
That's right, Ken. He has played for both teams. 31-year-old defenseman Lee Norwood. And firstly, I guess you're coming back in a different role to the Blues this time. You're the veteran now. Your role changed?
Oh, definitely. When I was here first back in 85, 86, it was more second chance getting back into the NHL. I'd had an injury back in 82 and spent 3 years in the minors. So, you know, I was more or less a rookie at 24, I guess it was, and, you know, coming back, getting a second chance, you know, learning from guys like Bernie Federico, Brian Sutter, you know, guys like that. And, you know, now I'm coming back, and hopefully I can pass on some of that knowledge to some of the younger defensemen and younger players, for that matter.
The first game, a big impression, overtime goal, and one tonight, too. Although they credited Shanahan, you said you might get it back. Let's take a look at it.
All right. Puck came to me from Adam Oates, just great pass. I had some time. Guys were in front, and then I just blasted it and caught the bottom corner. So, you know, it's a good goal. We've been moving the puck ball on the power play, and we just want to continue that.
You're telling me you didn't look where you were shooting it?
I just try and hit the net from there.
You've been in the Norris Division for a while now. Has the Norris Division changed over the years as far as the style of play?
Yeah, I think so. Before it was really heavy bump and grind, you know, tough knockdown, drag it off type division. Now, you know, there's better skating hockey clubs like the Red Wings, the Blackhawks. You know, the forechecks so extremely well that if you don't skate all the time and do the little things, you know, they catch you on them, and they capitalize on that type of, you know, poor effort, as you call it. And, you know, so it has changed. You know, before it was a clutch and grab, bang up and down the boards, and now I think it's opened up more, and it's more of a skating division.
Yeah, you talk about the forechecking, the pressure that puts on a defenseman, and you hear Brian Sutter say team defense. That's when a forward really has to hold up those forecheckers, don't they?
Oh, no doubt. You get big guys like Bob Probert coming down the boards full steam. If forwards don't step in front of them, the defenseman doesn't have a chance, because he's got to go back, pick up the puck, turn, look to see what's going on, and try and make a play. If the forwards don't help out, I mean, it makes it real tough.
Power play worked in the first period. Was there any change in that?
No, we've just been trying to move the puck a little better. You know, we tried to add a few other things, and but you know, just little plays and that. But basically, we just want to get it, and you know, if Holly's open, get it to him and let him have the big shot, and otherwise, just put it at the net.
Oh, great first period. Go get him in the second.
Thank you. Just want to say hi to my son Jacob. I know he's watching.
All right, hello, Jacob, from your dad. That's Lee Norwood, Ken.
All right, Bruce Affleck, Brett Hall, Brendan Shanahan, and Dave Christian have scored. And the Blues lead the Red Wings 3-0 after one period. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Now stay tuned for Tim Van Gelder and the Domino's Sports Break. Tim has it. That's coming right up.
Real Rock Radio, KC95.
7,600. We're set to go for the second period, and here to tell you about it, Ken Wilson.
And the face-off won at center ice by Fedorov. He gets it to Chason. He backhands the puck in, but it hit a Red Wing player on the bench below us, and we'll have a face-off in the center ice zone. Nelson Emerson on for the Blues here. And matching lines very key against Detroit. Emerson on with Hall and Ron Sutter against Fedorov, Burr, and Eisebart. Barron on defense with Zombo in front of Joseph. And the faceoff near the center red line won by the Blues. They control at their own line. Zombo a pass for Emerson, slowed up by Eisebart. Puck comes loose in front. Oh, and Ron Sutter can't catch up with it. It's tipped to the corner. He battles there with Chason for it. Now Emerson behind the net, knocked down, and the puck controlled by Sergei Fedorov, the Soviet player, up the middle. Now to the right wing at the red line, into the blue zone. Number 91 in the corner, centers off Berenskate. Then Isabart plays it to Burr. Burr into the slot, a slap shot. Oh, a great, terrific glove save by Curtis Joseph. And we talk about the Red Wings' speed and transition game, and they got that puck up ice in a hurry.
Great play by Sean Burr out of the corner in the slot. And Joseph got the left glove up there after Burr made a good move, a high shot. You know, Ken, Curtis told me he has his gold glove tilted upwards more than most goaltenders because he thinks he can catch the high shot a lot better if the palm is tilted upwards instead of down toward the ice. And that particular save there was a good illustration why Curtis likes to have the glove tilted in that direction. A great save on Burr.
Now the face-off. Yzerman against Christian to the right of the Blues goal. Back to the left point. Lidstrom, a wrist shot and a save by Joseph. Fennick in the corner to Alan Burr. The ex-Islander bump gets it to Fennick along the near boards. Behind the net to Yzerman. He had great chances in the first period. Off Yzerman to the corner. Zombo front. Gets it ahead to Rich Sutter. He's knocked down. Slides the puck to Barra of the Blues. A 3-on-2 in center ice. Up it comes to Lowry. From Christian in front for Barron out of his reach. Into the corner. Rich Sutter unable to center. The Wings tip it to center ice. Third chases after it with Murray Barron. Circles back with a puck in his own zone. Out his right wing to Rich Sutter. Off the boards to Lowry. Trying to move in around the limit. Can't quite get a shot. Moves puck in front. The Wings get it. Clear to the boards. Not out. Dave Christian wheels. Can't get a shot. A couple of players go down. It's Gino Cavallini misfires wide. Fennick behind him and leaves it for McCrimmon. Knocked down by Gino Cavallini. Brad McCrimmon tries to it. He tips it but not out. Brown shots it wide to the right point. Left point. Oh, it's drive off a skate line. And the pass comes to center ice. Here's Shepard for it. Throwing to Yzerman. Moving into his off lane. His shot goes high off Brown's stick. Kept it at the point by Konstantinov. And the puck behind the Blues net. Brown into the corner to Norwood. Lee Norwood gets it ahead to Oates at the red line. Oates will rip it into the corner. The puck comes out to the dot. Set ahead of Barstow. And that's Chevrolet Ross. Gino Cavallini on the rebound. And we have seen some fabulous hockey here tonight. 3-0 Blues. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Don't need the talking too much, but a great dump in by Oates ends up on the stick of Shanahan, and he was robbed by Tim Chevelday after Shanahan got the puck off the boards, and Chevelday made a nice stop. 3-0 the Blues. He played just over 2 minutes in the second period. Yeah, no question about this has been the Blues' best game in a long time. They have really played well. They certainly have, and the Red Wings, of course, are one of the top teams in the league. They lead the Norris division. They are 4th overall in the NHL. So we're seeing some quality hockey. Blues keep the puck in. Trying to center, unable to. And Kevin Miller knocks it up the boards. Not out. Norwood gets it ahead. Then knocked down. And the Wayne Shepard clears the center ice. Jeff Brown with it off the boards for Oates. He'll tip it, but onto the Red Wing player's stick. Ray Shepard. Out of Konstantinov. Back to Shepard. His left wing feed to Carson. Jimmy Carson pulls up in the slot. Shepard goes empty. Shoots and scores! Ray Shepard! Boy, great effort by the Wings from their own end, the length of the ice. And Ray Shepard, a free agent signee by Brian Burns, the Wings, gets the goal to make it 3-1. Well, Shepard is a natural goal scorer. He finds the puck in front after a great pass. And Shepard beats Joseph low to the glove side. And that may have gone in off the goalpost. But on the play of the Blues forward, I believe Brett Hall went by Shepard the slot, and that allowed him to be basically wide open in front, and he scores to make it 3-1. 11th of the year for Shepard. Blues controlling their own end from the center ice face-off. minutes into the second period. It is 3-1 Blues.
Hall has one of the goals and had a pretty good chance moments ago. He found himself basically wide open in front, but had to hurry a shot. And Chevrolet came out and made the save, or it may have hit the leg of Chason. And it went over the net. That goal again, Shepard from Carson and Constantino, 234.
Face off at center ice, wings control, McCrimmon shoots it in. Robert, Eiserman, and Kerr for Detroit. And McCrimmon a drive, Joseph the save. Here's Rick Sutter in his own end. His left wing pass to Lowry. Christian is at center. Lowry over the line. The Christian, big shot. Chevrolet the save. The rebound. Buster moves into the corner with a puck. Buster behind the Detroit net. Buster in the near corner. Now behind the corner, Rick Sutter. He's fouled by Robert. And McCrimmon clears the board down out. Christian behind the net to Rick Sutter. Looking to center. Still with the puck. Rick Sutter trying to sidestep Robert. That's tough to do. And Lowry behind the net. Weathers in the puck. And center now does. And Lidstrom clears the puck away. Fine play by the young defenseman, Nicholas Lidstrom. Paul Cavallini back deep in his own end. Long pass too far for brother Gino. Loose puck at center ice. McCrimmon with it. To Lidstrom. Out ahead to Eiserman. The wings are changing. Here's Captain Steve Eiserman over the line. Around Paul Cavallini. Get a hold of net. Unable to get a good shot. It's the Red Wing player, Miller, who goes down and play is stopped. And Paul Stewart, the referee, will call a penalty. It's 3-1 St. Louis. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
These Red Wings have a lot of firepower. 4 players with 10 goals or more. Steve Eiserman on that last rush worked in on right wing, probably should have shot, waited, and then his pass to Miller was tipped wide, but on the play, Christian hooked Miller, and he goes off at 4:24. And the Red Wings, 0 of 2 on the power play this evening, get a chance here.
Face off near Joseph. Jimmy Carson will try to win the draw. The puck goes to Lidstrom in the corner. Now Detroit setting things up. The puck behind the net, tipped away. And it's cleared down the ice by Brown. Jeff Brown, Lee Norwood, Ron Sutter, and Dave Lowry killing the penalty for the Blues. Lidstrom, long pass up the middle to Eisebart. Eisebart carries into the Blues zone. Wrestled off the puck. Jeff Brown clears it ahead to Lowry, and he slams it down the ice. The Blues lead by 2. They're shorthanded for another minute and a half. Nicholas Lidstrom, the young Swedish defenseman, shoots the puck in. Behind the net, Joseph plays it off the near boards. Right point, Racine moves it ahead to the corner. Eisebart dumped by Norwood before he got the puck. And cross-checked, and Norwood will get a penalty. And now the Blues, with a 2-goal lead, will be 2 men short for a minute and 18 seconds. So a tough situation now for the Blues here before this capacity crowd at the arena.
A cross-checking call on Norwood. The Blues got in trouble, Ken, when I think Joseph tried to play the puck when maybe in that particular instance he should have let it go. The puck went behind the Blues net. Joseph shot it around the boards when Paul Cavallini could have iced the puck. It was held in, and then in the corner, Norwood knocks down the Red Wing player. He goes off for cross-checking, and the Blues will be 2 men short here for a minute 18. So a tough time right now for the Blues. Blues hockey brought to you by the Discover card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back.
Assistant coach Wayne Thomas getting the clipboard out, diagramming what he wanted done here. One forward, Ron Sutter. Garth Butcher and Paul Cavallini on defense. They're outmanned, 5 skaters to 3. Face off in the blue zone. The puck to the right point to Chason. And he's stopped by Ron Sutter, who can't clear the puck out. Along the boards, Fedorov. Robert comes in front of the net. The pass to the blue line to Chason. Then his pass rejected, but he keeps the puck in at the line. Right circle to Fedorov. The puck slips away from him, but he pokes it to the right point to Chason. Now to Lidstrom at the left point. Back to Chason. Side of the net. Fedorov. Pass in front for Eiserman. He falls down, but keeps the puck under control. Wings have it out at the blue line. Now Chason, top of the right circle. A shot, and Fedorov deflects it into the crowd. And that means that the faceoff will come outside the St. Louis zone, and the Blues still short-handed by 2 men for another 44 seconds.
Ken, when a team is 2 men short, you are forced to play a diamond formation. 2 men up high, 1 man down low. And that shot by Chason, I think, hit Fedorov's stick. And the key for a team with a 2-man advantage, move the puck around and try and isolate somebody in front. I mean, you've got a 2-man advantage. Someone has to be open. If you're the Blues, you want to keep the puck out of the slot and not give them the easy tip-in goal. They're going to get some shots, but you try and have the opposition shoot the puck from the points or on the side of the wings.
Oates out there now with Zombo and Barron. Center ice face-off. Detroit shoots it in. After it in the corner, Carson. He leaves it for Yzerman, who's knocked down by Oates. He gets up behind the net to Carson. The other forward is Shepard. Left point, Lidstrom. Chason at the right point, accepts the pass. Back to Lidstrom. Left side to Shepard. Now Lidstrom again. 20 seconds to go on the 2-man advantage to Chason. Right circle to Carson. He has the puck. Playing catch with it with Chason. Chason, number 3, straight away, fakes a shot. Now to Shepard in front for Carson. Then a drive by Yzerman. A save, another save by Joseph on Steve Yzerman. Wings with a puck, right point, Chason. Now 1 player back on. Here's a shot by Carson, and that blast off the glass, and it sails into the crowd. Just after Dave Christian returns to the ice. Well, the Wings, John, have the pressure on, the puck control that you would expect, but not really able to free a man, not really able to get a superb opportunity against Joseph.
No, they never got a chance in front alone. Red Wings tried to work it in deep, but Joseph used his stick, and then he used his quickness with his right pad as he stopped Yzerman with the right pad. That is one of Curtis's best attributes. He is so quick with his pads. As the Red Wings tried to center it, Curtis poked it away, and then Yzerman on a quick shot was stopped, and then his rebound was stopped as well by the quick leg of Curtis Joseph, who has allowed only 10 goals in his last 5 games. So he is red hot, a winner of 4 of his last 5 starts, and no question, Ken, he has emerged as the #1 man right now in nets.
The Red Wings undefeated in their last 10, 8 wins, 2 ties, but they are trailing tonight 3-1. 37 seconds remaining in Lee Norwood's penalty, and a neutral face-off in front of the Detroit bench. Ron Sutter, one of 2 forwards, waved out. Lowry will step in. Paul Cavallini and Butcher on defense. Chason in the center circle, and he'll drive the puck in off the end board. Butcher back, looks for an opening. Can't find it, can't clear it out. Then Paul Cavallini risks it off the boards the length of the ice. Racine, Chason back for Detroit. Carson up front with Yzerman. As they work out, having trouble, it's intercepted. With a puck, Ron Sutter. Now he goes back to Paul Cavallini, and he shoots it down the ice. Ray Shepard is the other Red Wing forward, ready to come back on Norwood, lugging the puck up the ice. The Wings stop, back on Norwood. He's got a partial break over the line. A man back, a shot, and a save by Chevelday on Norwood. Long pass for Carson, eludes him. The puck the length of the ice. Paul Cavallini touches it. Icing against Detroit. And they love it at the arena as the Blues, 2 men short, and then later 1 man short, stop the Red Wings. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Bud Light delivers.
Quick penalty killing by the Blues. 3-1, they have the lead. 12:41 left in the second period.
Well, Xerox, the antifreeze coolant, no matter how cold it gets this winter, no matter where you drive, it pays to remember the temperature never drops below Xerox, and Yzerman a good job getting down to block the shot. Now a drive by Paul Cavallini right on, and a good save, and here come the Red Wings. So when it comes to coolant, remember Xerox. When it comes to saves, remember Curtis Joseph. He makes a fine save there on Gallant, cruising in on the left wing, and he holds the puck. Boy, John, there's 3-1 in this game, less than halfway through the second period, but there have been a lot of good scoring opportunities, a lot of good offensive players on these two teams.
Yeah, we expected a fairly wide-open game. I think this is a very critical point right now for the Blues. They lead 3-1. They've given up the last goal, but just killed a two-man Detroit power play. But you can't let up. There's too much time left. Detroit has too many high-powered players. There's still a lot of hockey to be played. The Blues need that next goal.
Here's the face-off near Joseph, won by the Blues. Butcher has it. Right wing to Rich Sutter. Marsh pinches in, slows them up, and then Basson clears the puck out. The Wings will go back for it in their own end. 12:10 remaining. Second period, around to Gallant. He's deep in his own territory. Up for Probert, too far. Left point, Paul Cavallini, a shot off Marsh wide. Marsh on defense with Konstantinov. Back for the puck, Gallant. He's on a line with Yzerman and Probert. The Blues doing some good forechecking here. Probert deep in his own zone. Tips it to the corner to the young Soviet player, Konstantinov. He takes a hit, and it's from Rich Sutter, and Rich Sutter will pick up a penalty. Rich Sutter went barreling into the young, and I might add, tough Red Wing defenseman Vladimir Konstantinov. 3-1, the Blues lead it. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
The Brett Hull Top Gun video, only $9.95, and only at Midas. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
16. He got his stick right in the jaw of Sutter as they came together. So the Blues 2 of 2 on the power play tonight. And Ken, on the year, they're 6 of 17. Nearly 33% against Detroit with the man advantage. And prior to tonight, the Blues power play really struggling, only 1 of 14, but they've found the range this evening.
That's an interesting call by Paul Stewart. We mentioned how tough this kid is from the Soviet Union, Konstantinov. And he did there what so many players have done for years in the NHL. You see somebody coming at you, especially high, you get your elbow up, you get your stick up. But Paul Stewart calls the penalty. Now as play resumes, the Red Wings with the penalty find themselves offside, and we'll have a face-off outside the St. Louis blue line as the Blues here look to add to their 2-goal lead with a man advantage. Keep in mind, when they got the 3 goals in the first period, 2 of them came on the power play.
This is the 75th year of the National Hockey League. The Blues in their 25th year. Last year, the Blues finished 29 points ahead of the Red Wings. My, what a difference a year makes.
This Detroit team is in first place. Blues have a little trouble at center ice. Go back for the puck deep in their own zone. Detroit with 31 points. The Blues and the Blackhawks second with 25. Maggio over the line. As the puck bounced to Shanahan, left point to Norwood. Now along the near boards to Shanahan. Out to Norwood. A shot just wide. Maggio centered. And Shanahan hits the side of the net. Here's Brendan Shanahan in the corner off the end board. Centered by Monjo to Hull. He's tied up by Petty. Gets it in front over the stick of Shanahan. Out to the point. Norwood with it. 1:15 to go in the Blues man advantage. Norwood at the left point with a puck. To Shanahan. Over to the right point to Oates. In front to Hull. A deflection, and he flecks it over the net, the glass, and into the crowd. Very good, quick, crisp puck movement on the power play there by the Blues.
And that's a good point, Ken. That's the Blues. At time, their fault on the power play. They don't move it around enough. Norwood had a shot. Mongeau put it in front. And the Blues had 2 or 3 great chances. Brett Hull put the puck over the net after a great feed from Adam Oates. Sometimes on the power play, the Blues try and focus on Hull too much. In other words, they give him the puck out near the left point, and everybody and their brother knows he's going to shoot it from there. I think they have to work it around a bit more, and that's what they did there.
From center ice, the puck back in the wing zone. They're shorthanded for 55 seconds. They clear it out. After it, Kevin Miller in over the Blues line, but he can't get around Jeff Brown. Here's Brett Hull in the corner. Behind the net, he feeds it to Adam Oates. Oates in front of his own goal, up to Jeff Brown, who comes out of his own zone. A pass behind Emerson. will go over the end red line. Touched by Yves Racine, and it's icing against the Blues, who have the man advantage here with 10:20 to go in the second period. Nelson Emerson working on this power play. He, of course, was a great player in the International Hockey League last season, and he's feisty. He holds his own. He's been a real plus for the Blues this season.
He is very feisty, and he's playing in front of a sellout crowd tonight, 18,301. Blues lead 3-1, but lots of time to go, 10:20 to go in the second period. But the face-off here to the left of Curtis Joseph.
And Fedorov trying to keep possession of the puck. Can't. Paul Cavallini rink wide to Jeff Brown. Shy of the red line, back on the near side to Emerson. He'll shoot it in. Cheveldae leaves the puck behind the net with Yves Racine trying to clear. Oates intercepts. To Hall, a shot. He scores! Brett Hall, number 21, and his second tonight. Hall picks up 2 more. 4-1 Blues.
Well, the Red Wings made a rather large error. They tried to clear the puck up the middle. Who was there? Adam Oates. Who was open? Brett Hall. And Cheveldae had no chance at all. And Adam Oates is now assisted on every goal scored tonight by St. Louis. And Brett Hall gets his second of the game. The Blues are 3 for 3 on the power play. Number 21 for Hall. And it's 4-1, but an ill-advised clearing pass by Yves Racine. And Oates knocks it down, and Hall knocks it in. And that's a big goal, Ken.
A tune-up Thanksgiving night, a 5-2 win over Quebec. And the Blues really playing well tonight, leading it 4-1. Play at center ice as action resumes, and the puck goes into the Blues players' bench. 4-1 St. Louis. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
I'm thinking of a steak, a thick, choice, juicy steak. Or maybe it'll be seafood, lobster, or swordfish. Chops sound good too. Pork, lamb, or veal. And for dessert, oh, this isn't fair. It's time to eat. I'm out of here. We hope to see you soon at Deerdorf and Hart's, the choice of St. Louis, in Westport Plaza and Union Station.
From a neutral face-off, the puck at center ice, and it's shot in by Norwood. He's on defense with Brown. Both teams at full strength. Mongeau on with Christian and Chase here for the Blues. They forecheck. Lidstrom behind the Detroit net. He has the puck. Lidstrom surveying the situation. Pass knocked down by Chase. Then he's knocked down by Vial. In the corner, Vial and Chase bump. Lidstrom can't control. Mongeau moves in front. A shot. Knocked away. Jeff Brown a drive. That stopped the puck loose, but the play is stopped by referee Paul Stewart. Boy, a lot going on there. Kind of a sideshow with Kelly Chase doing some bumping and shoving with defenseman Dennis Vial.
Good work in the corner by Chase and Mongeau. Lidstrom had Mongeau tied up, but the diminutive center squirts away, and he walked right in front. And Cheveldae was forced to make a big save, and then the Blues had a good chance on the rebound, but Cheveldae, with the help of 4 or 5 bodies, made that stop on Rick Zombo. He's played in every game this year, Tim Cheveldae has. Vince Riendeau had arthroscopic surgery on his knee. He went home to Sherbrooke, Quebec for the holidays. He won't be back until at least January 1st. So if Cheveldae ever gets hurt, the Red Wings are in huge trouble.
Face-off near Cheveldae. Basson in the circle for the Blues. He's on a line with Dave Lowry and Rich Sutter. Garth Butcher and Paul Cavallini on defense. 4-1 Blues lead it. Hall has 2. His 20th and 21st. Marsh with a puck in his own end for Detroit. Clears it off the boards by Gallant, the length of the ice. Back for it, Paul Cavallini. That's icing against the Red Wings. 4-1 Blues. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
No one performs better on ice than Brett Hull. And nothing refreshes better on ice than the real cola taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
Hey, Brett, how about a Coke Classic?
Coca-Cola Classic. It scores every time.
Never can get one of these past him. Shoot to win with flap caps from your local Coca-Cola bottler. Look under the caps on products from Coca-Cola and you could win season tickets to Blues games, $1,000 cash, and more.
Ken Wilson, John Kelly, and Bruce Affleck at the arena with over 18,000 fans. 9:03 remaining in the second period. Blues up 4-1. Ready for the face-off to the right of the Detroit goal. Basson will try to win this draw. It's Basson against Yzerman. And they're set to go. Puck drop, a broken stick. Konstantinov with it behind his net. He takes a hit, can't get the puck out. Then Marsh tries, he can't. Paul Cavallini, a shot wide off Marsh. Gallant blasts it around the boards. It comes out the near side. Probert tips it to center ice. Basson has it. Right wing to Rich Sutter, and he'll shoot it in. Backcourt, Konstantinov. He's been a big addition to Detroit, helping their transition game to Yzerman. Over the line to Gallant. He pulls up, feeds in front. A shot by Yzerman. He scores. What an incredible play. Paul Cavallini was all over Yzerman. It looked like he was down on the ice and would never get a shot, but this Red Wing captain is one of the great ones, and he scores to make it 4-2 Blues.
That is a world-class goal. He was going the other way, a quick turnaround shot, and he slices the puck into the top corner. Unbelievable. It was like a chip shot in golf. He just spun around and chipped it over the left shoulder of Joseph while he was going the other way.
What do you say? He was the open man? Boy, you talk about a fella who was covered. There's no way he can even get the pass, let alone make a shot. But somehow he did it. Wow. 11:27, the time of that goal.
That was a special effort by Captain Steve Yzerman. That makes it 4-2.
And the face-off controlled by the Blues. Here's Emerson along the near left wing boards over the line, but Ron Sutter had to lift his skate to get out of the way of Emerson, and thus the Blues are offside. Emerson is out there now. He's number 7 with Ron Sutter. And Brett Hull, Rick Zombo, and Murray Barron are on defense, and the Wings are going to make a player change here, at least send out a couple of fresh players.
Ken, we've talked about Emerson's speed. Well, I guess you could say there's speed in his family. His father races stock cars. His fiance's uncle owns Indy cars, so he is very accustomed to speed. Not necessarily in hockey, though.
From the face-off, Chason with a puck now behind the Red Wings net. Long left wing pass, too far for Burr. Puck goes the length of the ice, back for it. The speedy Emerson, but he doesn't get it. Yzerman does. To Fedorov. He's as cagey as Yzerman. Right point, Chason, a shot just wide. At the left point, Racine keeps it in to Yzerman. He can't play it. Now gets it back again, trying to come out of the corner. Yzerman in his backhand into the slot. Now moves in front, loose puck, and it goes wide of the net. Zombo for the Blues behind the net. Gets it in front to Ron Sutter. Here come the Blues on the attack. And then Ron Sutter just hands it to Yves Racine. He gives the puck to Fedorov. He carries it over the line on the right wing around Ron Sutter in front. Can't get a shot. Loose puck right at the post. And a whistle stops play and a big collision. And now the tempers are flaring. One of the Sutters, Ron, takes Burr into the back of the net. Everyone else is paired up. And they cool things down here pretty quickly.
Ken, Burr might be a marked man tonight. Remember the last time the Blues played Detroit up in Detroit, Burr connected with a very vicious elbow on Michel Mongeau. And after the elbow, which wasn't called by Bill McCreary, Burr scored a goal. But players and teams have long memories. Fedorov nearly got that puck between the legs of Joseph. And the Blues were upset because Barron tried to cover it, and then Fedorov comes in, and he gives Barron quite a shot as he tried to jar it loose. Metro Lighting, Union Electric, and Intertherm are teaming up this winter to make your home more enjoyable. See the Metro Lighting store in your area today for high-quality Intertherm baseboard heaters.
Face-off near Curtis Joseph. Gino Cavallini lugs the puck to the center red line and dumps it in. 4-2, Blues lead it. Hall has a pair. Good forechecking. Wings have trouble coming out. Now they do. Shepard to Kevin Miller on a line with Carson. Over the line to Carson. And he can't get around the defense, and the Blues clear it out. Brad McCrimmon, team with Lidstrom, gets it to Carson. Left wing to Miller. He'll take a shot, and it goes off Brown's stick and way, way back into the seats behind the Blues goal. And play stopped with 7:04 remaining in this period. The Blues up 4-2. We mentioned Hull has 2 goals. Norwood and Christian also have goals. Shepard and Yzerman have scored for Detroit.
On that last chance, Miller, who hasn't scored in 5 games, when you're not scoring, sometimes you look for the perfect opportunity, and that time Miller, without a doubt, waited way too long, and he allowed Jeff Brown to come over and tip it over the glass.
From the draw, quick shot by McCrimmon and a good save by Joseph. He was screened a bit. Jeff Brown with the puck for the Blues in his own end. He'll just clear through center ice. It'll slide wide of Chevelday. No icing, and back for it is McCrimmon. He leaves it for Lidstrom. To Shepard. He's bumped hard by Norwood. Kept in at the blue line. A shot by Shanahan. Stopped by Chevelday. Here's Shanahan centering. Gino Cavallini bags and he scores. Gino Cavallini set up by Shanahan. 5-2 Blues. Gino has to say thank you. All he had to do was let her rip. He had a beautiful setup.
What a great pass by Shanahan. Oates will get an assist as well. But Shanahan, the blind backhand pass, he wasn't looking at Gino, but he knew where he was. And Gino one-times it into the net for his 6th of the year. And the Blues lead 5-2. A good, low, quick shot by Cavallini. It's 5-2.
And play resumes at center ice. Marsh now in his own end for Detroit. Shoots the puck into the Blues zone, and there's no icing. Back for it, Butcher. On with Paul Cavallini, Basson, Lowry, and Rich Sutter. Blues having trouble in their own end. Now Basson regains possession in front of the goal. Right wing pass to Rich Sutter over the Detroit line. Lowry goes to the net. Rich Sutter pulls up into the slot. Now left point, Paul Cavallini, a shot. Stick save, Chevelday. Probert spun around, but still has the puck behind his net. Tries to clear it out, kept in. Paul Cavallini, a pass to Basson. Now into the corner to Lowry. He'll leave it there for Rich Sutter. Behind the net, Marsh has Lowry tied up. And the puck held long enough for a whistle. Blues 5, Red Wings 2. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Blues lead 5-2. That last goal, Gino Cavallini from Shanahan and Oates at 13:25. Ken Oates has assisted on all 5 goals, and that ties a club record.
He is the last Blues player to have 5 assists in a game against Detroit last January. Red Wings stop coming out. Barron at the point, into the corner to Emerson. Now Ron Sutter carrying behind the net. Poke check by Racine. Burr slaps the puck to center ice, and it goes over the glass and into the crowd. That will result in a face-off deep in the Detroit zone with 5:27 to go in the second period.
Well, just in time for the holidays, the Blues' new recipe book is out, entitled Blues Ribbon Recipes. The favorite recipes of your favorite Blues players. It costs $10, and it's available at the arena and at all the Blue Note sports shops, and all proceeds will benefit the Crisis Nursery. Just in time for the holidays.
Perfect for gift giving, isn't it? Good looking book, good looking cookbook.
And even you have a recipe in there.
And I'm sure you do also.
You're right, we all do.
Here's the face-off in the Detroit end. Zombo steers it behind the net. Chevelday there for the Wings to Racine, playing with some bad muscle injury near his ribs. The puck comes ahead to Yzerman on a broken play, and he's stopped by Joseph. Burr deep in the Blues zone, chips it behind the net. Now near corner, Yzerman. The Wings are dangerous. The Fedorov in front. Hall can't clear, and then Barron does. Chason back in his own end for the Wings. 5 minutes to go, second period. 5-2 Blues. Red Wings to center ice. Bouncing puck. With it is Burr. Sean Burr over the line. Drops it for Fedorov. Now to Isabard. He's spun around, and Oates takes over. Plays it around behind the net. Far side to Hall. And out to center ice. Sergei Fedorov leaves it. Isabard with it. Trying to give it back to Fedorov. Hall intercepts. Coming in. Partial break. Moves in front. They shoots. He scores! The hat trick! A breakaway hat trick goal for Hall. He has scored number 20, number 21, and now number 22 here tonight against Detroit. The hat trick for Brett Hall. He does it again.
What a brilliant play by Brett Hall, showing great anticipation and knocking the puck away in great speed. He steals it from Isabard, and he comes in at a very tough angle. I thought Chevrolet had him play it all the way, Ken, as he comes in on left wing, really out of the corner. He fakes the shot, and Chevrolet goes down, and Hall knocks it in. His 11th career hat trick, and 22nd of the year. He fakes the shot and puts it under the arm of Chevrolet. It's 6-2. That was a goal, scorer's goal there, folks.
Boy, he is really something special. Number 16, Brett Hall. He has the smile that gained his dad notoriety, the Golden Jet. And Brett Hall really is something, isn't he? 18,000 enjoying Hall and the Blues tonight, and they lead the Red Wings 6-2. After the Blues have lost 3 in Detroit, the Wings come here for the first time and run into a hot Blues team. The puck's at center ice, and Christian has it. Back in his own end. Now a feed over to Kelly Chase. He'll tip it ahead off the boards and overskates it. Back the other way. Yzerman leads the rush for Detroit over the line. Behind the back pass to Brent Fedek in the corner. He's run to the boards by Butcher. Then it's centered. Chase can't clear. Left point. Lidstrom low shot. He scores! Nicholas Lidstrom from the left point. A screen shot. And it beats Curtis Joseph. And now the Blues lead is 6-3. And it's a goal at the 15:57 mark of the second period.
Well, the Blues failed to clear it. And that shot may have been tipped in from that left point. Lidstrom, who can really let her go. Alan Kerr was on the edge of the goal crease, and we will wait, but this game's still not over, folks. It's 6-3.
Here's the face-off. Puck back into the St. Louis zone. I believe they're giving it to Fedek. He deflected it. 6-3. Blues lead it. Wings shoot at the length of the ice. No icing as Kerr gets it. He centers, and Bassett intercepts. Ahead to Lowry, up to the center red line. He'll flip it in and chase after the puck. But Chevrolet out of the crease, has it behind the net, steers it up the boards to Kerr. He runs into Rich Sutter, and the puck cleared out by Detroit. Shot back in by Paul Cavallini off the chest of young Lidstrom. Ahead to Alan Kerr, left wing to Yzerman. He'll bring it into the St. Louis end. Yzerman into the corner, puts on the brakes. Behind the net to Kerr. He leaves it for Fedek. Fedek wrap around, a shot, and a save by Joseph. As Fedek tries the wraparound from behind the net, but Joseph able to hold his ground, and as he holds the puck, play stopped with 3:14 to go in the second period.
Well, Fedek, who got that last goal, tried a wraparound try, but Joseph held the right skate against the post and made a stick save. That goal, Fedek, is second of the year from Lidstrom and Yzerman at 15:57. Only 30 seconds after Brett Hall's goal. And then Fedek had a pretty good chance moments ago. So it's 6-3. Hall's goal, his second hat trick of the year. And that's his 11th career hat trick, tying Bernie Federko for the Blues all-time record in the hat trick department.
The Blues tonight being outshot 26-23, but in this period out shooting Detroit 13-11. Curtis Joseph looks out, the face-off to his left. Carson and Oates And the Blues control. Brown behind the net. Right wing pass too far. And here's Marsh at center ice for the Wings. To Konstantinov in the center circle. A pass to an open left wing. Jeff Brown just slams the puck off the glass to the Detroit defense. It's chopped to center ice. A battle for the puck there. Shepard bumps Norwood. Puck cleared in by Detroit. Now Shepard and Norwood do some slashing. Gino Cavallini has the puck, trying to weave his way through center ice. Does some nice work over the line. Runs into Konstantinov. Gives the puck to Shanahan. He's checked. Now in the corner to Oates. Left point to Norwood. Screen shot right on the save. And Shanahan's rebound shot goes wide. 4 players in the corner vie for the puck. It comes loose to Brendan Shanahan. He'll blast one off Marsh and onto the stick of the Red Wings. Ray Shepard up the right wing. Shepard over the line. Shepard centers to Marsh, and he's spun down. Oates gets the puck. Can't clear it out. Kept in by Kevin Miller. At the left point, a screen shot blocked by Norwood. Jeff Brown slaps at the puck, and it goes over the glass and into the crowd. Let's pause 20 seconds for station identification. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Blues leading 6-3 here in St. Louis. And Brett Hull has scored a hat trick, but still a lot of time to go. 2:07 left in the second period. The face-off to the right of Joseph.
The other Norris Division teams playing tonight, Minnesota and Toronto at Toronto. That's 3-3 in the third period. Puck at center ice. Chason shoots it in. It wraps around behind the net. Comes out on the far boards. Yzerman there. He's stopped. Gets it back to the point. Yves Racine with it. Nice work away from Rich Sutter. A shot deflected right on Joseph. A save. It's still loose. The chase on a shot. Another save. And there'll be a penalty called here. A holding penalty will be called, I believe, against the Blues. Some great opportunities there for the Red Wings.
Well, Probert was so big and strong in front, the Blues nearly had to take a penalty. The shot was taken by Chason, and the rebound not covered by Joseph. And they can't move Bob Probert. Murray Barron trying every trick in the book, held Probert. And then Joseph forced to make a pretty good stop on Lidstrom. The penalty occurred in front as Barron tried to hold up Probert. Barron's a big, strong guy, but Probert unquestionably the toughest player in the NHL. And Barron goes off for holding at 18:15. Detroit 0-4 in the power play tonight. And without a doubt, the special teams, the difference tonight. The Blues are 3-3 with the man advantage, and they lead 6-3.
Boy, the old days of those low-scoring Norris Division games. Look at the 4 games these two teams have played this season. Detroit won 6-3, 10-3, and 6-4 at home. And tonight, still in the second period, the Blues lead it 6-3 here at the arena. Now the face-off. Fedorov against Ron Sutter, who wins it. In the corner, Paul Cavallini. Good effort to clear the zone. Lidstrom with a puck at center ice for Detroit. To Chason along the near boards. Far left side to Probert. He'll wrestle away from Butcher into the corner. Butcher grabs his stick. Wings with a puck behind the net. Right point to Chason. Left point to Lidstrom. The blast kicked out by Joseph. Now it's centered and intercepting Paul Cavallini. Ahead to Dave Christian. He has the puck at center ice and just flips it in. A minute 12 remaining in the second period. 6-3. The Blues lead it. They're shorthanded. Here's Fedorov through center ice for Detroit. Works over the line. Right point to Chason. Behind the net to Probert. He's hit from behind by Butcher. Still has the puck, though, into the corner. He'll leave it there for Sergei Fedorov. Fedorov, right point to Chason. Back to Fedorov. A shot! Stopped by Joseph. Here's Probert behind the net. Check. Blues can't clear it out. Chason, right point. A shot deflected wide by Yzerman. Along the near boards, Fedorov. Out to the point to Chason. Right circle. Fedorov off the skate of Paul Cavallini with a shot. Basson behind the net. Can't play the puck. Then Yzerman too well covered. Butcher with a puck. Can't clear it out. Lidstrom keeps it in. 40 seconds to go on the Detroit power play. Yzerman behind the net. Stripped of the puck by Paul Cavallini. He can't clear, and Lidstrom's shot blocked. Wings with great Fetcher. Chason at the blue line. Chason shoots wide. The puck behind the net. Here's Fedorov. Into the corner in front. Chason a shot. That stopped. As Probert's knocked down. To the point, Lidstrom. And the period ends. The period ends with the Red Wings all around the Blues net. Now Fedorov grabbing onto Rich Sutter. They're trying to keep Probert and Paul Cavallini apart. Butcher down on the ice in front of the net. Oh, what furious action at the conclusion of the second period. I'm not sure if Garth Butcher is hurt or not. He and number 24, Bob Probert, really having some fierce, intense battles, with Probert trying to gain ground around the net on the power play and even behind the net, and Butcher trying to knock him away. And Butcher will be looked after by Mike Folga, the Blues' fine trainer. But the second period is ended. And after 2 periods of play, the Blues lead the Red Wings 6-3. Coming up during this intermission, Bruce Affleck will visit with the Red Wings' Paul Yzerman. So stay tuned. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. A long way to go in this one. Again, both teams shorthanded to begin the third period before over 18,000 here at the arena. And to tell you about the third period, here's John Kelly.
Thank you, Ken. The Blues defend the goal to our left, and in 15 seconds, the Blues will get a power play. They're 3 of 3 with the power play tonight. Off the draw, Brown sets up behind his goal. Left wing for Hull. Now to Norwood at center ice. Into the Red Wings end. And now Barron back on, so the Blues on a power play. Norwood keeps it in on the left point. Puck behind the Red Wing goal. Poked by Chase on ahead, and Sean Bird turns and fires it to center ice. Here's Norwood back at his own line. To Michel Mongeau. Ahead to Brown on right wing. He'll dump it in. Around the boards it goes. Mongeau grabs it. Now for Hull. He left it there. And Burr picks it up. And he flips it down the ice. 1:10 left in the Blues man advantage. Here's Brown back in his own zone. Center ice to Mongeau. Pass off Hull's skate. And Steve Yzerman shoots it off the glass down the ice. A minute gone by in the third period. The Blues leading 6-3. Here's Paul Cavallini behind his goal. Now in front of the net. At center ice to Mongeau, right wing for Oates. He hammers it in. Chevrolet stops it. Flips it up the boards. Miller now pass around the boards, and McCrimmon will backhand one to center ice. Blues look a bit lethargic here in this third period, not skating, and really letting the Red Wings take it to them. Blues in a power play back to center. Here's Hull across the line for Emerson. Left wing Shanahan, now to Cavallini for Oates. His pass in front tipped away, and it comes to center. Emerson with 7 seconds left in Probert's minor. Now at center ice, McCrimmon knocks it down. And he pokes it in. And big Probert back on. So the Blues did very little during that power play. Rick Zombo gets to center for the Blues. Long shot. Ends up behind the Red Wing net. Cleared by Konstantinov. Left point, Barron kept it in. Christian in front for Emerson. His pass knocked away. And Zombo at center ice. Back in for Emerson. Now for Ron Sutter. Can't work in. He's knocked down by Konstantinov. And he scoops it back to center ice. Here's Zombo. And his own line checked. But it goes to Christian. Now for Zombo on right wing. Blues who lead by 3 goals. They dump it in deep. And Chevrolet will set it up back there for Konstantinov. That's center ice for Yzerman. Broken up. Now a loose puck kicked up by Konstantinov to Burr into Fedorov. Back to Burr, knocked away from him, but held in. Burr on left wing. Gets it to the corner. Norwood goes behind his own net for St. Louis. And Norwood takes no chances, and he bounces it down the ice. Brad Marsh hit his own end. He'll just clear it to center. Brown there for the Blues. His lead pass to Christian. He's after it. So is Rich Sutter. Sutter tried to center one. But a loose puck gobbled up by Miller. And here come the Red Wings. Now Shepard at center ice. Penalty called on the Blues. Delayed call. Shepard across the line. Now back on the point for Chason. His shot, that goes wide, and Christian gets it, and a holding penalty against the Blues. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Third period holding penalty to Bob Basson. The Wings tonight on the power play are 0 for 5. Remember, they struggled last season. They wanted desperately to improve their power play. Seemingly, they have. Lidstrom's been a great addition on the point, but they still have struggled a bit, so they'll try their luck here.
Blues lead by 3, and they clear it down the ice. Power plays are down throughout the league this year. The average success rate this year in the entire league, 17.8%. Last year, the average was 19.4%, so it's down nearly 2 points. Here's Ron Sutter in across the line, but Lidstrom got back and broke it up. The Red Wings find rookie Nicholas Lidstrom to center. He'll dump it in. Near side, Butcher is there, can't clear it. Ray Shepard gets it behind the goal. Now back on the point for Lidstrom. Right wing pass to Carson out of Chason. A shot tipped in front by Shepard. Blocked by the Blues defense and now cleared by Ron Sutter down the ice. Back come the Red Wings though. Isabard across the line. Drop pass for Steve Chason. A shot. Stick save by Joseph. And the rebound in front now cleared by Dave Christian down the ice. Exactly a minute left in the Basson penalty. The Blues leading 6-3. 15-15 left in the third. Here's Yzerman to center ice for the Red Wings. Works in across that line. Right wing side. Fedorov a shot. And a pad save by Joseph. Blues can't clear it. Fedorov near the line. Works in. A shot. And Rick Sutter blocked that. And now he turns and shoots at the length of the ice. Again, a pass by Chevelday ahead. Now for Fedorov. He was bumped, but he gets it in. And Rick Zombo back there. And he quickly works it up the middle down the ice. 15 seconds left in the Basson penalty. Racine in behind his own net for the Red Wings. He gets out of his own zone. His long dump in, tipped to the far side. Gallant is there. Basson back on. And now the puck over the glass and out of play. The Blues lead 6-3. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
So I'm doing my sound check. Hello, hello, hello. And I hear this woman's voice.
Crunch that last chord. I'll show you.
She grabbed the guitar. And then she started rocking. No, I mean rocking.
You're pretty good. Not.
Someone that hot deserves something this cold. Suddenly, I remember this was a butt spot.
I like your style.
Well, the Red Wings' Tim Chevelday giving up 6 goals tonight, and Scott King comes in to play goal for Detroit. Brian Murray decides to make a change just past the 5-minute mark here in the third period.
And this is King's first action of the year. He was an Adirondack. He did play in 1 game last year. He played in 45 minutes of a game, to be exact, and allowed 2 goals. So Scott King gets some action here.
Brian Murray getting a little idea of what this third period would be like, and it's certainly not the same kind of pace we saw in the opening 2 periods, and says, well, we're down by 3. Let's let Scott King see some action.
Now off the draw, the Blues try and get the puck out. Kerr, a bad angle shot, a stick save by Joseph. And it's not out. Vial, a long shot. That's blocked. And here's Oates in his own end. To center. To Gino Cavallini. But McCrimmon got back and knocked it away. Vial and Gino Cavallini bump in the near corner. And it's picked up by Miller for Detroit. He gets back to center ice. And then Gino and Vial push behind the play. Play goes on, though. And Shanahan for the Blues. He missed the check. Vial fell down. It comes in front, but Norwood there. Now at center for Gino Cavallini. He comes in on left wing. Bad angle, a shot. And King makes a save, and he hangs on for a faceoff.
You might say, well, who is Scott King? He is a 24-year-old. He had an outstanding collegiate career at the University of Maine and played for the Red Wings briefly last season, played in a game against the New Jersey Devils. So again, Scott King in goal now for Detroit with 13:20 to go here in the third period. Remember that for the Blues, the road will become common soon. 6 of their next 7 on the road. The home game in that stretch is a week from tonight, December 7th here against Pittsburgh. Tickets to that game and all other Blues home games on sale now at the Arena box office daily from 10 until 6. They accept American Express, MasterCard, Discover Card, and Visa.
The defending Stanley Cup champion, Penguins. Although, tragically, their coach from last year, Bob Johnson, passed away last week, and that is just a terrible loss in the hockey world. And for Pittsburgh, Blues leading here by 3. Puck in the blue zone. The Wings get it free. A backhander by Shepard, and then Joseph made a save, and the rebound was put wide. And Ron Sutter for the Blues. Back to center. Rink wide for Brett Hull with 3 goals tonight. His long shot caught by King. And now Shepard on right wing for Detroit to Probert. Across 2 lines, and play is called. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
When you're having good times with good friends, drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from your friends at Budweiser.
6-3 for the Blues. 12:41 left in regulation time. The Blues coming in 6 points behind the Red Wings with the game in hand. Wings clear it down the ice. Joseph fires it back to the line. Now at center ice, Hull has it. He's never scored 4 goals in a game. Long shot. King a stick save. Chase on. Bump there. Christian gets it. Has Hull in front, but he can't get it there. And the Red Wings work to center with Eisenbart. Left wing for Sean Byrne. He cuts in around Zombo. A shot, and it goes wide. Christian got back and knocked it away. Here are the Blues now. Ron Sutter. Long pass to Hull. He's offside, though, when he touches the puck. Play is called on a 2-line offside pass. It's hard to believe, Ken, a man who's scored as many as Brett Hull has. He's never had 4 in 1 game.
He's got a shot tonight in a 6-3 game. He has 3. Is the 11th hat trick with the Blues. This third period has been quite different than the first 2. The Blues certainly in a position going into the final 20 minutes where they can play more conservatively with a 3-goal lead. Didn't start with a lot of energy, but the Red Wings really have not taken advantage of that. And time running down, and that, of course, in the favor of the Blues.
Under 12 minutes to play here in the third period. Butcher behind his net. Pass up the boards. Basson and Probert hold each other up. Yzerman is there. In front of the goal, Probert. And Butcher push. In comes Basson. And look out here. Probert throws a punch at Lowry. He goes after Probert. And he gets him down. Meanwhile, Rich Sutter has a Red Wing player tied up. Lowry went right after Probert and took him right down. 2 points for the takedown.
And of course, it was little Bobby Bassett who was jousting with Probert in the first place. Butcher and Probert have been going at it all night. And boy, give high marks to Dave Lowry for stepping in. And they're on their feet, loving every minute of this game here at the arena. 6-3 Blues. This is St. Louis Blues. Dave Lowry. Gallant will join Probert in the Detroit penalty box. Paul Stewart walked right into the penalty box with Probert, who was yelling at the Blues players, and said, hey, just take a seat and cool it. Basson had been shoving with Probert. Basson was just trying to keep Probert from moving in front of the net. Of course, Probert is just a bit bigger than Basson. And when all was really breaking loose, Lowry came flying in when Probert was trying to land a right long distance on Garth Butcher. Probert came flying in, and Lowry right there said, no, 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 and barreled into Probert and wrestled him down. And the penalties being handed out here. And it's being explained to Paul Cavallini, thus you can imagine the Blues are coming out on the short end, and they will get an extra 2-minute penalty. While we have the chance, let's pause 20 seconds for station identification. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. Well, all sorts of penalties. Probert 2 for roughing. Gallant gets 2 for high sticking. Basson 2 for high sticking. Butcher 2 for roughing, and Lowry 2 for roughing. So in essence, Lowry gets the extra 2. The Blues come out on the short end of it. They're short-handed now with 11:41 to go in the third period.
Although Probert wrestles with Butcher, punches Basson, and then gets into it with Lowry, and all he gets is 2 minutes.
Well, it's interesting. That's the interpretation of referee Paul Stewart. Still quite a bit of time left. The Blues certainly thinking defense in this period. They have had only 2 shots on goal. The Wings out shooting the Blues 6-2 in this period. By the way, last report from Toronto, 4-3, Minnesota leading the Maple Leafs. That game has to be very late in the third period.
How about San Jose, Ken? They won 2-1 in Calgary tonight, and they tied in Edmonton last night.
Look out, here they come. The bad news is they're coming to town here in the ensuing weeks.
6-3 for the Blues. 11:35 left in the third. Red Wings 0 for 6 on the power play tonight. And in the 3 previous games against the Blues, they were 8 for 18. So a sudden drop off tonight. Here's Yzerman, though, in across the line in front for Carson. Over his stick. Norwood tied up by Shepard. Puck under Norwood. And he holds it long enough for a face-off in the Blues' end.
You know, we've talked a lot about the European influence. We've seen it over the years in the NHL. Now a lot of Soviet players, more European players coming all the time. We have not seen much in terms of European talent with the Blues, and there's no question now that is going to change. General Manager Ron Caron clearly over and over stating we're going to scout Europe. We're going to scout Soviet players. We understand we must do that. So down the road, you're going to see European players with the Blues. It's going to change.
Last year, the Blues, the only team without an American-born player, and this year, the only team without a European. Blues, who have a 3-goal lead, clear it down the ice. 1:20 left in the Red Wing man advantage. Steve Chason back in his own end. He gets the puck to center ice. Long dump in. Joseph missed it, and he lost his goal stick. Here's Yzerman. Across for Chason. Back to Yzerman. Joseph still without a goal stick. Puck behind the net. Now it comes free. Oates is there. He tries to clear it, and he does. And now Curtis gets the goal stick back in his hands. King, the rookie for Detroit, leaves it for Yzerman. Now to Chason. Pass for Carson. That's center ice. Here's Yzerman now into the blue zone. He gets it in behind the net. Carson far side for Detroit. In behind the goal. Blues can't clear it. Yzerman left point to Yzerman. Then Barron knocks Shepard down and clears it down the ice. 22 seconds left in the power play. Here come the Wings again. Sean Burr. That's center ice for Nicholas Lidstrom. He shoots it in, but Burr was in there offside. That's the St. Louis line.
9:52 to go, third period. The Blues have the lead, and Brett Hull's hat trick tonight has been a big part of the Blues' success in this one, and you'll want to read all about Hull's hat trick and the action here at the arena tonight in tomorrow's Post-Dispatch. For home delivery of the Post-Dispatch, call 622-7111. The shots in this period. Overall, Detroit 37-27. Actually, in this period, Detroit out shooting the Blues 6-2.
And the score is 6-3 for the Blues. And now Lowry is back on, so the Blues have killed it off. Detroit 0 of 7 on the power play. Lowry bumped near the penalty box, and now Racine goes after Lowry, who's a marked man all of a sudden. I guess the Red Wings took exception, Ken, to Dave Lowry going after Bob Probert.
No question, and Kevin Miller is hot, and Brett Hull trying to keep him away. And Lowry's going back to the penalty box. And they are irate here at the arena. I do mean irate. Kevin Miller will go off also. 6-3, Blues lead it. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
No one performs better on ice than Brett Hull. And nothing refreshes better on ice than the real cola taste of Coca-Cola Classic.
Hey, Brett, how about a Coke Classic?
Coca-Cola Classic. It scores every time.
Never can get one of these past him. Shoot to win with slap caps from your local Coca-Cola bottler. Look under the caps on products from Coca-Cola and you could win season tickets to Blues games, $1,000 cash, and more.
Dave Lowry and Kevin Miller, the Michigan State product with the Red Wings, get into it. They receive coincidental 2-minute minors for high sticking here at 10:28 of the third period. Lowry, of course, had just come out of the penalty box. The puck came to him at center ice. The collision at center ice with Fedorov. And then Lowry gets the puck and Miller runs into him, and then the high sticking ensued. And Paul Stewart has called his share of penalties in this one. Steve Yzerman, the captain of the Red Wings. Even though Sergei Fedorov has come to the Detroit team, another great center, so is Jimmy Carson. Don't take anything away from Yzerman. He is a great, great player, and he was with this Detroit team when they did not win. He has been the glue for a long time with the Red Wings.
Yeah, they finished last overall one year with Steve Yzerman, so he's seen the bad years and the better years. Although the Red Wings haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1955. 6-3 for the Blues. Now at center ice, Rick Sutter gets it ahead for Basson. He was bumped. You can bet that this thing will be very physical for the rest of the way. Now Curtis center ice for Detroit. Look out, he was knocked flying by Bassett as Kerr had his head down. McCrimmon keeps it in behind the Blues goal. Here's Kerr and Basson fighting for the puck. It comes free for Yzerman. He gets in front, a backhander, and a save by Joseph. Rebound, and Joseph stopped Kerr without a goal stick, and he holds on. Two good chances there. Curtis needs to hold that stick a little tighter.
The suggestion here would be keep your head up and your stick high. As John points out, things are going to be pretty rough the rest of the way. Moments ago, Joseph losing his goal stick again and had to make a couple of saves without it. He's quick, he can scramble, and he was able to do a good job even without the goal stick. Down to 8:41 to go. Of course, when you're meeting teams in your own division, you know you're going to see each other again. This is the fourth meeting between Brian Murray's team and Brian Sutter's team, so that means 4 more before the playoffs. And you know the Wings and the Blues frequently get together in Stanley Cup playoff action.
Off the draw, a wrist shot by Shepard, caught by Joseph. 8.5 minutes left, third period. 6-3 for the Blues. Now Shanahan at center ice for Oates. He has 5 assists tonight. Now a delayed penalty call. And I think it's on Detroit. A hooking call.
Jimmy Carson dumped Brendan Shanahan, and Paul Stewart, the referee, had to jump over Shanahan. That's how close he was to the play. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Blues 3 of 4 on the power play this evening, and that is really the difference in the game, as the Wings have gone scoreless in 7 power plays. Norwood back in his own end. At center ice to Mongeau. In across the line for Hall. He wasn't ready, and back comes Sean Burt 2-on-2. Into the blue zone. Burr, a shot, and a stick save by Joseph. And Norwood gets the rebound for St. Louis. Ahead to Mongeau. Center ice to Hall. Into Shanahan on left wing. Takes a check. Kicks it ahead to Mongeau. Now back on the point for Oates. Oates shoots it wide. And the Red Wings chase on. Shoots it down the ice. 1:10 left in the Blues man advantage. And Oates is back for St. Louis. He has 5 assists tonight. That ties a Blues record. Now for Brown at center. He comes in on right wing. Tied up by Brad Marsh. Now Brown gets it free. In front, Oates back to Shanahan. Right wing for Oates. A shot and a skate save by King. Here's Shanahan to Brown. Right point now for Oates. Into the corner for Emerson. He spins around, gets it in front. Marsh, who's lost his stick, knocks it away. Red Wings can't clear it. Brown left point. Now for Oates. Oates on that right point. Pass to Emerson. Back for Brown. Left wing to Emerson. Emerson lets it go, and he just missed the net. Here's Oates on right wing to Jeff Brown. Left wing for Emerson. He lost it. And the puck cleared to center. 10 seconds left in the power play. Brown in for Emerson. Left wing side. Pass knocked down. And Konstantinov for Detroit gets the puck. Carson back on. Detroit at full strength. Now Carson near the line. Has to wait for Yzerman to get on side. Now he does. And he shoots it in. 6:10 to go. The Blues lead 6-3. And Christian back in his own zone for the Blues. In front of his net, right wing to Rich Sutter. Bumped by Vial. Then Gallant at his own line for Chason. He'll wrist it in. And Joseph leaves it back there for Butcher. He was bumped by Gallant, but here comes Basson to Rich Sutter in on right wing. He's in the clear. Right in a shot. King a save, rebound. And Basson put it wide. Now Rich Sutter to Basson. A shot. He scores! Bob Basson. It's 7-3.
Number 2 for Bob Basson. Oh, and yes, Rich Sutter was truly involved. A 4-goal lead for the Blues. Great pass to Rich Sutter. He puts his head down, barrels in, fakes. Stopped by King. And Basson eventually in front, and King down on his hands and knees, and Bobby Basson goes upstairs to get the goal. Rich Sutter had the initial chance. It was quite a save by Scott King as he had committed but threw up the leg, and his left pad able to make the first save, and then Basson scoring moments later to make it 7-3 St. Louis.
Rich Sutter and Christian get the assists. It's 7-3. Now the Blues clear it in behind the Red Wing net with Trimmin. Now it's center ice to Fedorov. He gets across the line on right wing. A shot. And Barron blocked that. And that goes over the glass. The sellout crowd having a great time tonight. Their Blues ahead 7-3. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
So we're enjoying our favorite spot. And we see this old guy. Hey, Bobs! Then there was this huge wave. We thought the old guy was history. That was hot. Anyway, we were impressed.
Guru dude, want a cold bud? Groovy.
Groovy. Despite our language differences, all surfers share a universal communication. Oops. Whoa.
Well, ready for a face-off at center ice. Sergei Fedorov, the Soviet player on the ice for Detroit. His mother and 10-year-old brother have been in Detroit lately. His 10-year-old brother in practice borrows Kevin Miller's skates right after the Wings practice. They say he's a great skater. He's a big kid, and look out, there's another Fedorov on the way.
That could be dangerous. Sergei is already one of the bright young stars. Now Ron Sutter at center for the Blues. Into the Red Wing end. 5 minutes left. Here's Emerson, far corner. Back of the goal, Sutter missed it. And the Red Wings, Lidstrom picks it up. He gets it back to center ice. Here comes Isabard on left wing. Into the Blues end. Bumped in the corner. And Ron Sutter for the Blues just fires it down the ice. Blues leading 7-3. McCrimmon back behind his net. Long right wing feed for Miller. Into the Blues zone. Miller goes wide. Norwood gets him to the back of the goal, and now the Blues clear it. And it comes to center, where Chason puts it over the glass and out of play.
Let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard. Our Budweiser scoreboard, Hartford wins 3-2 tonight over Montreal. The Islanders at home surprise Washington 8-1, only the Caps' 8th loss of the season. Pittsburgh, a 5-1 lead over Philadelphia. Quebec defeated Buffalo 4-3 with 2 very late goals. San Jose a 2-1 win at Calgary tonight. Minnesota got 2 late goals, or actually their third and fourth goals for Mike Craig for a 4-3 victory.
So the North Stars out of last place. They were tied with Toronto going into tonight's game. The Blackhawks not in action tonight. They'll play in Winnipeg for them. And the Blues could move 2 points ahead of Chicago with a win tonight, which it appears they will do. They lead 7-3. 4 minutes left. Now King leaves it behind his net for Racine up on left wing to Miller. He gets the puck to center. Brown's pass tipped away. And here comes Carson into the Blue zone on right wing. Brown goes down. Carson goes around him. Now behind the goal. Carson centers it. He gets it back. A shot. And that's wide. Near corner. Shepard puts it in front, and Joseph poked it away from Carson, who had a wide open net. A heads-up play there by Joseph. And now an icing call here on the Blues.
Well, Curtis Joseph has done again tonight what he has been doing regularly, and that's play very well. He is, without question, the man in goal for the Blues. He'll go down frequently. There's no question about it if you watch him. Game in, game out, that's the one reaction he'll have. But he's quick. Wayne Thomas, one of Brian Sutter's assistants, and of course a longtime NHL goalie, when questioned about that, simply says, but he does the job, and that's the key. There have been great goalies who have gone down a lot in the NHL. Going back in the not too distant past, you go back to a Tony Esposito, played in the Norris Division with Chicago. Similar styles in terms of going down a lot, but if it works, it works. And that's all that's important. This broadcast authorized by the St. Louis Blues Hockey Club solely for the entertainment of our viewing and listening audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the St. Louis Blues Hockey Club is prohibited.
3:21 to go. Blues lead 7-3. Hull has 3 goals, and his buddy Oates has 5 assists to tie a club record. And the Blues tip it down the ice. Other Blues goals tonight from Norwood, Christian, Basson, and Gino Cavallini. Kerr at center for Detroit. He gets it in behind the Blues goal. Butcher there, right wing to Rich Sutter. Knocked off the puck, but now Paul Cavallini feeds Basson at center. Into the Red Wing end on right wing. Can't work in deep, and Yzerman shoots it down the ice. Here's Paul Cavallini back for the Blues. Fires it around the boards. Now behind that net, Yzerman pokes it to the near corner. And then Basson takes Kerr to the boards. And Paul Cavallini gets the puck. This pass for Dave Lowry. 2-on-2 to center. He wants a change, so he dumps it in. And Marsh back for Detroit. Left wing for Gallant. Here's Gallant. Long shot. Joseph gets it, and he just shoots it back to center. Now 2:10 to go. Here's Rick Zombo for the Blues. In front of his net for Barron. And Christian tips it away. Ron Sutter after it for Emerson. Into the Red Wing zone. In deep now. Gallant is there. Up on the boards for Probert. Can't clear it. Here's McCrimmon for Detroit. To Vial. Vial, the rookie, near the line. Gets it in deep. Joseph knocks it away. Not out. Vial gets it. Had an open net for a minute, but never shot the puck. Now behind the Blues goal. Barron lost it. Miller centers it, but Christian broke it up. And he clears it down the ice. It won't go all the way. A minute 25 left. Blues lead 7-3. Now McCrimmon at center ice. Can't clear it in. Bob Probert gets it. Oates steals it from him. Now Racine at his own line for Fedorov into Sean Burr. He gets it in deep. Behind the Blues goal. Cleared by Joseph around the boards. Gino can't clear it. Comes in front. But Brown there to knock it away. And here's Oates at center. A minute left. Oates across the line, but Gino is in offside on left wing.
Oates 5 assists, Hull 3 goals tonight. And now a little extracurricular activity. Norwood in the midst of it. He and Racine having words. Burr also, and of course, who else but Bob Probert. Probert has had a couple of shifts recently. The minute he steps on the ice, referee Paul Stewart starts to stare at him and continues to look at him and barely watches the puck. So he, like everyone else, is aware when Probert's out there, and when Kelly Chase is out there, you're going to have excitement also, and that's the case in this situation. Probert's going to be escorted to the Detroit dressing room, and Chase has been sent to the penalty box. We mentioned Hall with another great night for the Blues with 3 goals. And our Budweiser play of the game, Brett Hull's 3rd goal tonight at 15:27 of the second period. He stole the puck, cut in, very bad angle, had some wings coming back, fakes, gets the puck again, slides it at the perfect time under goaltender Tim Cheveldae. His 3rd goal of the night, the hat-trick goal, number 22 on the season for Brett Hull. That is our Budweiser play of the game here tonight before this standing room only crowd of over 18,000 at the arena. And the Blues now are going to be shorthanded. Kelly Chase gets 2 minutes for roughing here at 19:10. Bob Probert picks up a 10-minute misconduct penalty.
And the Red Wings' 10-game unbeaten streak will come to an end. Their longest since 1970. They hadn't won 11 in a row or gone 11 without a loss since 1955. So they won't do it here again. Now the Blues come in shorthanded. Ron Sutter doesn't shoot it for Christian. 33 seconds left. And Christian shoots it behind the Red Wing goal. Chason has it there. He gets to center. His long shot goes behind the goal. Joseph sets it up. Paul Cavallini gets it, not out. Chase on left point, across, and Christian pokes it away, and it goes down the ice. 10 seconds left. The rookie King fires it behind the net. Chase on to Shepard. Long shot, caught by Joseph, and the game is over, and the Blues get some payback on the Red Wings as they win 7-3. Great goaltending by Joseph. 3 goals from Brett Hull and 5 assists from Adam Oates. A big night for the Blues as they win 7-3, and they close to within 4 points of the first place Detroit Red Wings. 7-3 the final. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
St. Louis Blues hockey has been brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who reminds you friends know when to say when. By your Midwest GMC truck dealers, Bellman, Bomarito, and Brockland GMC. By the Discover card, it pays to discover the card that pays you back. By Southwest Airlines, providing everyday low, unrestricted fares to many exciting destinations. By McDonald's, your place for the 59-cent hamburger. By Phillips 66, enter the Phillips 66 Blue Power Play. It's so hot, it's cool. By your local bottler of Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of the Blues. By your Metro St. Louis Lincoln Mercury dealer. By AutoZone, the best part in auto parts. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. By Hardee's. By the Missouri Lottery, you can't win if you don't play. By Southwestern Bell Corporation, the one to call on. By your Greater St. Louis Nissan dealers, they're right on the money. And by Circuit City, where service is state of the art.